David Reid Homes TV, episode 3. Last episode we were up in Karaka Lakes in Pukekohe in Auckland. This week we're moving to deepest, darkest, well, I won't say darkest, but Invercargill, and we're going to be chatting with Andrew Wheeler from our Southland branch. Hey Andrew, how's it going?
Good mate, very well, thanks. Yourself?
That's the way. Yeah, look, I'm not too bad, just chipping away. Some good news yesterday for the building industry from Wellington, and Jacinta moved you guys to level 3. Must be a bit of excitement for yourself and obviously for the other 15 franchises around New Zealand. You guys ready to crack back into it?
Yeah, it'll be good. Obviously, master builders have been pretty on the ball in getting some procedures and stuff that we're going to have to follow in place on site. Obviously, being new construction sites, we don't have that owners living in the home sort of factor. They're clean, obviously, construction sites being new builds. So we should be able to control it to a pretty decent standard and just make sure everyone follows their procedure. And I think everyone is of the same goal in trying to eliminate it fully. So everyone should be trying to push to just eradicate COVID-19 completely. So, yeah, everyone's been during the lockdown. Certainly, everyone will follow that with the rules.
Yeah, certainly commendable New Zealand's effort so far. So, yeah, let's keep it up. Hey, look, let's move on to where we're at today. Just going to look at a house you guys built in 2017, I believe, in Invercargill. 294 square metres, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 car garaging. There it is there. It's certainly a stunning house. I'm not aware of like where it sits in the landscape around not Queenstown, in Invercargill. Is it, it looks quite rural where we are here. Is it rural, or are we close to town, or are we in a subdivision, or where are we?
So we're in Otatara, which is just adjacent to main inner city Invercargill, so it would still count as town living, but obviously it's slightly more rural residential blocks. So this site's about an acre, and we've also got another 6 to 8 sites around here. We're building on another one just adjacent to the show home. Now just got consent during lockdown, which is good. So about to start building beside it as well. And we've got another one behind the show home that we're doing some design on. So yeah, it's a subdivision that's going to slowly fill up. So this was the first home we've done in here, privately owned subdivision. And this was sort of one show home for the business, and then 2 also to help sell some sections. So it's been awesome for us in terms of getting people through and helping promote the brand in Invercargill.
And I'm led to believe through lockdown, you've actually been living in the house. It looks like a good spot to be locked down in. Has it been comfortable, warm, cozy? You guys had it, is it a good place to hang out, I suppose, when it's going to be pretty important for people going forward, like comfortable houses, all the mod cons. I'm assuming this house has been comfortable for yourself.
Yeah, Bridget and I sold our house end of last year, so we've bought a section and looking at building this year again. So we've just been in a rental in town, and just due to the lack of supply of decent housing in Invercargill at the moment, there's not that many rentals available. So we're just in a little small place. So we figured if we're going to be in lockdown and can't open the show home, we may as well move out here and take advantage of the almost 300 squares and obviously the section space and everything around us. And we've also got some mates, a mate of mine, Jared Weeks, and his wife, he plays for the Breakers down to start shark season, but obviously that's been given the can at the moment, so they're in limbo and can't really go anywhere at the moment, so they're staying with us. So there's 4 of us
nice
hanging out here, and yeah, it's a good spot. We've had a few dinner parties and sitting out here enjoying the fire, and
nice.
It's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, just like, New Zealand's heading into winter, and, people looking to keep warm. Just, I read a bit of stuff about this place. What have you done there? I know it's got a quite wide, 140 mil, the walls, are they?
And obviously the Southland climate's pretty well known to people. Obviously it's cooler than your average, but it doesn't go to the extremes of some of the other places. So obviously you could go as far as passive houses and stuff like that, but that's really if you really want to spend some money. Most people want to look for a cost-effective means of building above code still. Like David Reid Homes prides itself on building good quality homes and that level above code. And the most cost-effective ways for people to do that is to increase the thickness of your frame. So yeah, going to that 140mm frame, and that lets us get the thicker insulation in the walls as well. But then you also look at things like your windows, because obviously the cold's going to go through the weakest point in the home, so it's no good increasing the thickness of your walls and your bats if you're going to not upgrade your windows as well. So looking at things like your low E, your argon gas, thermal break if you can afford it in the budget and stuff like that, and then thicker ceiling insulation. So all those things play a factor.
Righto. Yeah, I mean, yeah, certainly, with all those things. So a fully zone-controlled diesel in-slab heating system. It sounds pretty fancy.
Yeah, I guess the benefit of the zone control in all the different rooms is obviously you can just sort of use what you need. If you've got some rooms you're not using, you don't have to heat them. So, for example, we've got 2 bedrooms being used and 2 that aren't at the moment. So there's no point having any heating on in those. So you can just control it, and it just makes the overall system a bit more efficient. It does cost slightly more the more controls you put in. But the controls aren't a significant cost in terms of putting in central heating. The main cost comes in the actual heating unit and the boiler or the heat pump itself. So chucking those extra controls in, obviously a little bit of extra cost because they have to run all the cables separate, and it's a separate cable, but that's not the be all and end all. So definitely recommend putting in some zone controls where you can.
Sure. Just I mean, the old indoor outdoor, everyone likes to sit outside. I'm just going to bring up an image here. I think this looks great. Notice the TV up there, a bit of sport, or not sport at the moment, or a movie or something, but you must sit out here. Can you sit out there in winter? Obviously you're out there in summer, but I see the big fire there as well. Good spot to hang out at the moment, is it?
Yeah, so I'm currently sitting here at the moment. So this wall behind me you see is I'm actually just below the TV there on that couch on the left. So that's where I'm sitting right now. So I just had my morning coffee as the sun's coming up. So yeah, it's a great spot. We've got Otatara golf course over the road from us. So obviously you can't go over there at the moment, but if level 3 comes around, it looks like they're talking about maybe we can go for the odd social distancing hit. So hopefully that comes in the next week or so. But yeah, it's awesome having the indoor-outdoor flow here. We've got, I think, 100 square meters of deck in total. So it's quite large, and it wraps around. So we've got this little area that you're looking at is designed to be completely sheltered from the southwest because their prevailing wind conditions come in from the southwest. So we can have a breeze going past and it be totally calm in here, and you get that fire going with this lower ceiling, and that heat just stays in, and it's quite cozy. So yeah, we've been out here having a few, just playing a bit of cards and sitting in front of the fire, just socialising and catching up, and it's been fresh, but I mean, we were comfortable. You just throw the odd blanket over the legs as well. It's quite cozy, and we're having a great time during lockdown. So it's awesome.
Is this something that like people are looking for at the moment? I've seen this in quite a few David Reid homes, like the indoor outdoor. You've almost got an outdoor that's an indoor. Like, are people moving to? Is this quite a common theme in houses these days?
Yeah, we're definitely. I mean, I've got at least two that I can think of off the top of my head that have something similar right now, and some of them at even higher level. One's all schist fireplace and then schist on top of the link roof and stuff like that. So making real features out of them, and people like to socialise and have their friends around, and it's just a great place. And obviously Invercargill in summer can still have those cooler evenings. So I mean, it's just nice to have that outdoor fire just to give that bit extra, and just that ambience. Everyone loves it, so you can't beat it.
Let's move inside. Just got an image of the main area of the house. I mean, look at that. She's pretty open plan with those big, massive windows. I'm assuming they're north facing, are they, or those?
Yeah. So this house was when we designed it. Our David Reid Homes Pavilion range, we know, is our most downloaded range and popular for people to look at, but sometimes it can be quite north-south, whereas our lifestyle range is actually quite east-west, and in south, and you want to get as much passive gain as possible into your home, just for that sunshine that's coming around. So we kind of combined the features that we liked of both, and we sort of got the pavilion style with the gable to gables, but we sort of orientated the house. So the bedroom wing we flipped and brought running east-west so we could get the sunshine into as many rooms as possible. And then obviously, as you can see from the photo, we can get all that north sunshine into all our living areas. So we can get good passive gain through the windows, and it just helps keeps the house warm in winter as well.
we were just like, I mean, we are talking about it just before we jumped on this call. It's like, to me, that looks like, something that's going to really cut into my budget. And I mean, I know you guys are really good. It's a different market in Invercargill from, say, I don't know, Queenstown, Auckland, Wellington, for argument's sake. You're not going to maybe get the returns you're going to get in those other cities. Now, when I start my design process, is this something I should be considering?
Definitely, and I guess that's one of the things that I'd really point out to people is one of our add value sort of benefits is that initial advice at that design stage. A lot of people look at homes in Queenstown, Auckland, and those sorts of places, and they fall in love with the design. But obviously, those houses can be built in those areas because the cost. They can recover it on the end sale prices. So, I mean, if any clients in Southland have the money and they can obviously spend what they want, I'm not going to stop them. But you just need to make sure you're up front and say, if you do have a budget, you really sort of got to highlight it, because this is where our cost advice becomes so critical in that design phase, because pavilion style does cost more. I can get into more of it another time, just in terms of the overall surface areas and that increase and complexity of the home. But basically the cost does increase quite a bit. So features, for example, this feature of the gable window, if we were to look at doing different ways, the most cost-effective way of having that extra height through the living there would be just to do a scissor truss.
Sure.
With a scissor truss, you wouldn't really be able to do that top triangle part of the window, because the internal pitch of the roof is slightly lower angle than what the roof pitch is. So you don't want that symmetry to be different on the outside. So generally you just have the rectangle sliding door, but it still gives you that extra height inside. Okay. This is probably the middle version, where we've got a parallel cord truss, which allows us to get the internal pitch on the same angle as the roof pitch. So it allows that symmetry inside and out. So when you're on the outside, you can look back and the house is in symmetry, and that lets us get that triangle window up there. But you can see we haven't got it extended all the way to the outside wall frame.
Gotcha.
We need that for bracing when we're doing it this way, and that just means we don't have to use a steel portal. If you want to go that full expansive window there, then you need to pay for the steel portal and the engineering, because we just can't get the bracing. So there's a few different ways, and there's more options than that, but that's just a quick overview of we can do different cables.
Good to know. And just quickly on the kitchen, let's see, was it Classic Kitchens you guys work with? Are they a local firm?
Yeah, so we use sort of two joiners, obviously just through multiple builds and stuff as well. So we use PDL Joinery, and Classic Kitchens have done the majority of ours. We've also used a couple of others just through client preferences. And if clients have people they know, we're more than happy to work with them. But those are who we have our established relationships.
Sure. So, but just on that, you tend to, you got a good group of a good crew, a good team, good subbies, good team that works on most of your projects. Would that be fair to say? Yeah,
we've got a great team. I guess small town, reputation's everything down here. So
sure.
It means it's everything. Word of mouth. That's your repeat sales. So we obviously, as a brand, push quality. That's what the standard we hold ourselves to, being the best. Try to be the best always. And that is, the subcontractors are a huge part of that. So we definitely want to work with quality trades, and it makes working in the build process so much smoother when you work with people that run good businesses themselves. So they're just part of our larger team, and got a few years relationship with some really good ones. So putting out some good results.
Good stuff. Just okay. Well, just thanks for taking us through the house. Rumor has it you're not bad on the basketball court, mate. Want to tell us a little bit about that? Who you play for? What team you play for? You're still training? Still putting up the shots? Got the hoop at home? I'd be interested to get a bit of background on that.
So this was supposed to be my 10th year playing for the Southland Sharks. So that's our NPL team in the National Basketball League. It was quite an exciting year this year. Sky TV was going to be covering every single game, which is a first. Normally we've had Sky feature games the last couple of years, and everything's been available online. But it was going to be a really exciting big year for the league, and obviously can't be playing at the moment. So we're supposed to start April 10th. but yeah, it's just everything's gone on the back burner at the moment. I know they're trying to come up with a revised competition, but yeah, so in terms of basketball training, can't really do too much from home and not having access to the gyms. I mean, as I said before, I've got my friend Jared Weeks from the Breakers staying with us at the moment because he's part of our Southland Sharks team. So we're doing lockdown together. We've got a makeshift hoop someone dropped off before lockdown so we could keep getting some shots up. So we're playing a bit of horse, which is basically do some trick shots and you try and make it and the other one try and miss it and you get the letter, just like pig or whatever.
Nice.
Just having a bit of fun, doing a bit of training in the backyard just for keeping the fitness up.
That's the way, mate.
But yeah, it is a little bit limited.
Yeah, and just, I don't know, I quite like my basketball myself, love watching it. You got an all-time New Zealand starting five for me? I'm going to chuck Stephen Adams in there, I'm assuming. He'll make the cut. Got one. Stan Hill. I had Stan Hill. Remember Stan Hill? Played for Canterbury for years.
He's a little bit older than my time. I definitely, mate. Yeah, definitely heard of him, but haven't seen too much.
Who would be your most recent starting five then?
Oh, I've played with 16 Tall Blacks over my time with the Sharks. So we've had 16. I think I've played with about 3 or 4 Australians, 1 Canadian international. So I've actually played against Torrey Craig, who's in the NBA now. So I've definitely played with some high-level guys. My all-time, yeah, I'd probably have to say Stephen.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
Stephen at centre, but you have to give a shout-out to Sean Marks being the first to go to the NBA. Power forward, I'll give it to Piero. Made that 2002 All World Cup team.
Yeah.
Small forward, I'll go Kirk Penny. Obviously had a long career and just great shooter.
Yeah.
2, I'll go Corey Webster. Played against him, marked him. He's probably the hardest player I've ever had to guard. So
awesome.
I'll put that in there. And then someone I got a lot of respect for at the moment, to keep it current, I'll go Shea Illy. I just reckon he's unreal with his work ethic and gets out there and defends guys. And obviously with that team, there's a few shooters on there as well. So got to have a facilitator and defensive energy.
Man. Oh, that's awesome, mate. Good to hear that. Just to finish up, mate, it's great you guys are going to be opening up soon. I suppose you're still looking for inquiries. You're happy to take calls, emails. Do a Zoom, whatever it might be. How are you still working? How can you still help your clients? I suppose.
Yeah, well, that was obviously a big reason for moving into the showroom as well. Was that I do have the garage set up as our full-time office, so we operate full-time. My girlfriend, she's still working full-time, so she's working beside me. And then Jared's partner, Michelle's working. So there's 3 of us working in the garage, keeping each other productive, available phone, email, Zoom meetings, still have access to pretty much all our stuff except for on-site construction. So in terms of upfront design, there's no real limits to what we can do. Obviously, we just have to use our internet solutions if we want to have a face-to-face meeting, but no problem. I've had inquiry during this time, people ringing up and asking for plans and just email them out and have conversations around them. And getting design work still done through our designers as well. Pricing still happening. So a lot of that front-end stuff is really, obviously with building industry these days, so much needing to be detailed up right from the outset for building consent. It's a great time for us to be just focusing on those things and getting everything prepared for our jobs that are going to be ready to go once we sort of move down next week.
Well, it all sounds good. All sounds good down there in Invercargill. Look, take care, mate. Look after yourself, and hopefully you do get back on the court. And thanks for your time today. And we'll get this up online. And see where we go with that. Look after yourself. All the best. Cheers.
Thanks very much, mate.